A very good afternoon to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is Sunday, 24th August 2025. So we'll be continuing our sharing of the Surangama Sutra. So as usual, we will gather for physical puja. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhaṃ Bhagavantaṃ Abhivādemi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammaṃ Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi Sanghang Saranang Gacchāmi Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi Pi Sanghang Saranang Gacchāmi Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchāmi Panati Pata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musāvādā Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majjapamadatthāna Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's pay respect through bhajan. Buddhaṃ pujami. Dhammaṃ pujami. Sanghang pujami. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities and devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti peso bhagava arahang sama sambuddho Vija charana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta deva manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanaiko Pacyatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyāyapatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakeneyo Anjali Karaneyo Anuttarang punyang ketang lokasati sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated. Then we shall continue from where we stopped. Surangama Sutra. I think the page is romanized. Was it 33 or 23? 23. Huh? Okay, we are at part 7. So after the Buddha requested the 25 great Mahasattva to share their experience of how they developed the cultivation, finally I think the Buddha received a question from Ananda as to what is the most appropriate way to cultivate and practice. Then Manjusri was requested to answer Ananda. So Manjusri concluded the practice most suitable for Ananda and for beings of the future is to follow the Avalokiteshvara or Kuan Yin Bodhisattva's hearer of the sound, Kuan Si Yin. So because of that, it is the often recommended one through the hearing organ. Okay, then we go to part 7. 4 clear and definitive instruction on purity. This one is linked to precept. And I have also already explained before why without precept very difficult to train your mind to develop the real samadhi. After I will explain again. Now we read through the Surangama Sutra commentary text. The Buddha next described the second aspect of the practice or cultivation of samadhi, or in this case is called the Surangama Samadhi. So the first one is reversing the attention of the hearing organ, which is, the Buddha described, not enough. One cannot make proper progress in any spiritual cultivation or practice unless one's moral behavior is proper. The Buddha insists on purity in 4 spheres of conduct, which in the Buddhist tradition are addressed by the first 4 of the 5 basic morality precepts, or what we call the basic 5 precepts, the first 4. The first one entails one must not kill, means panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. So you abstain, undertake the training or precept to abstain from killing or causing harm to fellow living beings. Then the second one is you undertake the training to abstain from stealing or taking things that does not belong to you. Then the third one is, of course, abstain from committing sexual misconduct. Then the fourth one is also equally important. Do not speak falsely. Mean you abstain from telling lies, arising the improper, deceitful speeches, harmful speeches that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Or in a manner which may cause harm to others. So here the Buddha explained that in order to practice the Surangama Samadhi in the correct or proper manner, it is not enough to just restrain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and false speech. He included this last part. One must erase any thought of such action from the mind. Means you must undertake the training rule to perfect yourself so that the first 2 right effort has been developed. Means whenever the wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action that has arisen, you must undertake what they call training rules to abandon it. Means the first right effort to abandon it through the 5 ways as taught by the Buddha. But the most effective one is the 3rd and 4th way. Then after that, you must develop the initial wisdom to arise the right effort to prevent all this wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action from arising. So that will fulfill what the Buddha mentioned. One must erase any wrong thought or thought of such defiling action from the mind. So that part is described under the basic teaching, Theravada tradition, as the second right effort. Then the other one, explanation that I always explain to you all is the one I described when I was attending the house dana at Nancy's house in Klang. Then she transcribed the talk into a book, the essential Dhamma of the Buddha, where I explain, you see, for samadhi to kick in, you need to have the basic sila. That's why in the teaching the Buddha mentioned dana, sila, then only bhavana. So basically, I will write on the whiteboard. So this word dana is generosity, or your whatever wholesomeness through giving, offering, or radiating of love, metta, everything. The virtuous thought. Then sila, here is moral precepts, then bhavana. So this one is the meditative training. So this bhavana got two parts. So this one consists of sila, samadhi, and panya. So here they are explaining to you the training of samadhi. In particular, the Surangama Samadhi. So as I have explained before, at Nancy's house, the house dana, if you don't have the sila, it's very difficult for you to train your mind to develop the proper samadhi. Because what happens is our mind, especially the mundane mind, before you develop the wisdom or the enlightenment, is always egoic, deluded. And because of that, they develop a lot of selfishness, emotional negativity, delusion that trigger fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation. And these are the basis for the arising of the five mental hindrances that hinders the mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner mindfulness. That's why the real samadhi, or we call it the Surangama Samadhi, which is your pure awareness nature, the free mind without thought. You cannot be in that state, the meditative state. So, understanding that, you will understand why the Buddha said you must actually ensure your precepts are well kept. Then towards the end, he said, keeping the precept alone is not easy. Well, most people, they can maybe develop the initial cultivation of the precept. They verbalize, then they try to keep. That's why the precept is worded, I undertake the training rule. You have to train yourself to abstain from all these four things which are very detrimental, not only to your karmic nature, but it will also brings about problematic mind state that prevent you from developing the right samadhi. Because a person who breaks precept, like I say, you will have a lot of mental hindrance, a lot of negativity of thought process. Take for example the first precept. If you kill, you harm and cause unnecessary suffering and misery, then you will have enemy who will come after you, the karmic conditioning that will haunt you, then you will have mind state that is unstable. That's why you will have fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation. Then you will do it through the act of sakkaditi or self-delusion, out of greed, selfishness, covetousness. When all this adds up, the karmic conditioning and process will manifest and prevent that form and mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. So if you commit all this, it will even end up as police case and other things, because whatever you do, even killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, or telling lie, all this can manifest as what they call negative karmic repercussion. And when they linger in your mundane mind's activity, it will trigger a lot of mental hindrance, especially restlessness of mind, born of fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation. Then sensual desire and ill will is obvious. Then sloth and torpor also will haunt you, because when there is delusion, when you come forth to determine, to train your mind to meditate, you can't. These mental hindrances are too powerful. Then it will hinder your mind from entering this meditative state through the karmic process, where they are mental hindrance. It will hinder. So, in order to develop samadhi, you must not only keep the basic 5 precepts, especially the first 4. It should include the 5th actually. Where you violate the 5th, which is partaking of intoxicant drugs also, etc. When you develop that or commit that karmic negativity, then what happens is it will cause you to break all the first 4 precepts. That's why the 5 precepts has its great significance. Yeah. So if you understand that, then you will know a person who keep their precepts well means not only at the knowledge level, but at the mind level. Means you can arise the first right effort to abandon all this wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action, followed by the wisdom, initial wisdom, born of the first and second turning, to prevent the arising of all this wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action. Then samadhi will definitely kick in. Because at the mind level, you cannot develop it. Means technically I use the word, you have not developed the ability to keep your precept well. Because to keep your precept well, you not only abstain, you can't even have the possibility of allowing all this wrong thought to arise. Because the moment all this wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action, you cannot prevent it from arising. Means you don't have basic initial wisdom. You cannot deal with these defilements, this delusion. That's why the initial awakening is very important, especially the first and second stage of sainthood. Without that, you still have sensual desire and ill will. Yeah. Then with sensual desire and ill will, of course, you will break your precepts. Then you will definitely also have mental hindrances that are very powerful. That's why in the teaching of the Surangama Sutra is mentioned very clearly under part 7. For samadhi to kick in, you need to train yourself well, especially in the initial purification of morality, sila visuddhi. That's why in these 7 stages of purification, or satta visuddhi, the Buddha start with sila visuddhi, purification of morality, then ditthi visuddhi, then you go to your views, purification of views. So all this are taught in the essential Dhamma of the Theravada tradition, means the provisional teaching. Okay, then we move on and go back to the notes. So I have explained. Then we move to part 8. So part 8. At Ananda's request, the Buddha explained in great detail how to set up a place of awakening. So a place of awakening is like a Bodhi Mandala. So you look at note 23 down there. The passage on the power of the Bodhisattva who hears the cries of the world recalls a similar account in the celebrated chapter 25 of the Lotus Sutra on the universal gateway. The Surangama Sutra, unlike the Lotus Sutra, explain how the Bodhisattva gained this power. So this on the place of awakening is also called what they call under note 25 Bodhi Mandala, or in Mahayana Mandarin is Tao Chang, means the place where you develop your cultivation leading to awakening. So here the Buddha explained in great detail how to set up a Bodhi Mandala. Bodhi is enlightenment. Mandala is like a cultivation way place. Devoted to the cultivation of the Surangama mantra. And then he recites the mantra for everyone in the assembly to hear. Next he explained how reciting the mantra, especially from memory, as well as simpler acts of devotion to the mantra, means when you have faith, when you have spiritual devotion towards the mantra, can bring about many benefits to the practitioner, including safety from harm and more rapid progress in spiritual practice. These are true. That's why it also arises as a reason why a lot of Mahayana practitioners, they like to chant this Surangama mantra. And according to Hsuan, as long as one person can still chant, the Surangama Sutra will not disappear. There will be no Dhamma ending age. That's why a lot of practitioners, they actually have faith in this and they keep on cultivating their practice. But it's up to the individual, the cultivator, because if your cultivation is the wisdom way, then you need not go through all this. But if you want to use this as a stepping stone to develop your faith and all those, what they call parami, for you to be protected, of course you also need to make your invocation of merits or vows to develop progress and perfection of your cultivation and training leading to Sammasambuddhahood. So finally, both also can develop the end result of perfect enlightenment. Then I read on. Finally, numerous beings in the assembly of listeners raised to vow that they will protect anyone who undertakes the Surangama mantra practice. So because of that, I think that was part of the reason why those who really recite the mantra with sincerity, faith and understanding, they will receive protection. We are all these great beings, cultivated all the way. They vow to protect all this. So it's like Dhamma protectors. If you are the cultivator of the Dhamma practitioner, then the Dhamma protectors will protect you. So that is the meaning. Then we move on to part 9, the levels of beings. In this section, the Buddha responds to Ananda's wish to learn about the levels of beings. So the Buddha first divided beings into 12 categories or 12 classes, organized according to the manner of their birth. So this one I have explained before. In the Lotus Sutra is mentioned. He then briefly summarized 60 stages through which Bodhisattva pass on their way to the full awakening of Buddhahood. So these 60 stages through which Bodhisattvas, when they undertake the Bodhisattva way for perfect enlightenment training, they will go through. Then finally he described at greater length the suffering of beings consigned to the hell. This one we have gone through some of it in the Lotus Sutra. And then more briefly, 6 other destiny means apart from hell you also have the ghosts, or the hungry ghost rhyme, or the beta rhyme, the animal rhyme, the human rhyme, the ascetic masters. So look at note 26. They term them as Hsuan. I think enlightened beings are Hsuan. Okay. Then gods at the 28 celestial level, and finally the asuras, the demons. In describing the stages of the Bodhisattvas, the Buddha offered Ananda a roadmap to follow for his future practice. In describing the hell and the other destiny, he warned his listener of the danger of committing intentional act that entails negative consequence. Means purification of precept is very important, because any of this evil act or negative act, if you are not careful when you are cultivating the Bodhisattva way, because as you continue to perfect yourself, whatever negative thought that lead to negative consequence, the effect is very severe, very, very severe. You cannot afford to fall at that stage. So here it is summarized. All these are summarized. So under this roadmap, he warned his listener of the danger of committing intentional acts that entail negative consequence. So here again, he referred to the prohibition that he has emphasized repeatedly in the text means the first 4 precepts. Do not kill, do not steal, do not commit sexual misconduct, and do not speak falsely, or those inappropriate speeches that can lead to karmic consequence or karmic negativity. Then part 10, this one is very important. As I say, all this introduction, they summarize the Surangama Sutra. But the detail, unless you are a cultivator who has gone through, you cannot understand one. It's too profound and it's just summarized. That's why you need those who have gone through the training, the understanding and the awakening to explain to you. Okay, now I will read to you the 50 deviant states of mind, or they call it the 50 deviant samadhi, xxiii-xxviii. Our 5 aggregates of form and mind. Each of these 5 aggregates, as you develop the wisdom to awaken, to penetrate, to realize their unreality, to transcend the 5 aggregates, or to see that they are actually empty, like Kuan Yin Bodhisattva in the Heart Sutta is mentioned when he was cultivating the perfection of prajna paramita. She illuminated the 5 skandha and realized that they are all empty. So the illumination is through the wisdom light that actually arises through her cultivation. Then the direct seeing, the awakening, give forth the wisdom and the understanding to see clearly that these 5 aggregates of form and mind, they are empty, not real, Mahimekade. That's why this deviant samadhi, per aggregate, there are 10. So 5 aggregate times 10 is 50 deviant samadhi, or in Mandarin they call it xxiii-xxviii, means demonic samadhi. So now I will read on. Part 10 is 50 demonic samadhi or states of mind. In this final section of the sutra, the Buddha once again spake without a request for teaching, as he did in part 3. Here he undertakes to warn practitioners to be on their guard against these 50 demon or demonic samadhi or states of mind that can arise during the period in which the cultivator or the way or practitioner is trying to break his attachment from the 5 aggregates of form and mind. So these 5 aggregates of form and mind, as you know, they are your Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankhara Vijnana. These are the basic 5 aggregates. So to break through the form aggregate, like I have taught you all, you have to learn to see form, the unreality of form, then have the wisdom to see beyond form. But most people cultivate wrongly. They try to go into samatha meditation, or what they do is they go into that type of apangana samadhi, means absorption samadhi. Then some use the external approach, means they develop the type of meditation that is totally different from the one taught by the Buddha. Instead of going into sati, mindfulness and awareness, the free mind develop wisdom and stay collected and unwavering. They develop one-pointedness of mind, concentration, energy field. And you do that, the 10 deviant samadhi mind state or demonic, or they call it more, they will come and attack you. They will come and delude you and trigger a lot of what they call, in Mandarin they call 走火入魔. How to explain in English? 走火入魔. Means you go and do the energy field concentration. Then that concentration like build up energy and understand. So when it build up energy, you think it will lead to enlightenment, fantastic meditative mind states, very special experience, all those things. But you don't have the wisdom to understand that they are all mind-made. They are all illusionary manifestation of mind. So it's like all these things you try to build up, they actually run away. Because it's not the pure wisdom. The purpose and intent of cultivation is to develop wisdom to liberate the mind, but instead you develop energy field. So all this energy that you build up, they get run away. Then what happened? The Mara went in and create the demonic state to delude you, to deceive you. That's why many of them were deluded, and the Mara are really very powerful. They can let you see, like you can see your past life, like the Buddha is talking to you, Kuan Yin or the great beings are talking to you. Then they will tell you a lot of things, make you believe, build up your ego. All these are through your own delusion, your own karmic negativity. If you are not pure in your precept, all this Mara has power over you. What are Mara? Born of defiling thoughts. They are called defilements within the mundane mind. So, keeping the precepts, if you have done it correctly and with the understanding, you will realize you have a pure precept nature. I call it a nature because it is a nature that protects the cultivator. You remember in the Theravada tradition, somebody asked the Buddha, Sakyamuni, what is the highest protection? What was the reply from Sakyamuni? Virtue. What is virtue? Precepts. If you have virtue, all this karmic negativity cannot come. Even if you have metta, a lot of things cannot happen to you. Understand? Poison, all those, they cannot harm you and all those things. So these are the power of virtue, power of precepts. That's why when you cultivate without all this understanding, then through greed, you actually look for all these things. The 50 Devan Samadhi, when they come, you cannot deal. Because those are real Maras. And they really can deceive and delude you. Of course, when they come, they also, through your karmic, what they call negativity, all these are the karmic debt that you have to repay. Where you teach people do the wrong meditation, the blind leading the blind, then you cause people to go through all this karmic retribution. So when the time comes, you yourself also will get yourself entangled. You reap what you sow. That's why before you develop the real understanding, try not to be too eager to insist on teaching. Yeah. You can teach based on your understanding, but don't go beyond. Yeah. Okay, I read on, then you understand. Yeah. Here he undertakes to warn practitioner or cultivator of the way to be on their guard against the 50 deviant samadhi that can arise during the period in which cultivator is trying to break their attachment from the 5 aggregates. So these 5 aggregates, like I explained, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. So 10 such states of mind are described for each of the 5 aggregates. The Buddha explained that if practitioner of the way or cultivator of the way dismiss this demonic state or the 50 deviant samadhi as of no importance, means you know they are not what you are seeking for. That's why sincerity of practice is very important. You seek only wisdom, only wisdom free, nothing else. Not psychic, special meditative capability and all those things. Then this state will disappear on its own. It will have no power over you. Like Hsuan Lao Hasang, when he experienced that, in the middle of the night, suddenly like broad daylight, and like he can see through the wall everything, he can see everything. But then he knew this is part of the mind's manifestation. It is nothing fantastic or nothing special. Then he continued to meditate. But despite that, he couldn't awaken. You realize how he awakened here. He has to wait till the causes and conditions. When the attendant that's supposed to pour hot tea onto them, suddenly, when he poured the thing, he actually burned his finger. And in that moment of shock, suddenly the mundane mind, the thinking mind, came to a stop. There is like the mind pulverized. Everything like disappear. Then he awakened. Because that time there was no thought of cultivation. There was no thought of enlightenment. Nothing. That's why within that state there is your pure awareness nature, the true mind without thought. Then the causes and conditions manifest because he was not deceived by the deviant samadhi, and the Mara didn't come and haunt him. Then he awakened. Okay, we go back to the notes. So under the notes, the 5 aggregates are, they term it as form, which is rupa. There are 2 aspects, form. Physical form for us as a human being. Then the other form is the mental form that you perceive through your senses. So this form aggregate, which is rupa, is a very powerful aggregate. Actually, to break through form aggregate is not easy. You have to learn to see form, the unreality of form. Then only you can see beyond form. Then to break the aggregate, you must know how to develop the pure awareness, not energy field, not concentration. Otherwise you get stuck. Similarly for the other aggregates, feeling, perception. So feeling and perception, or they call it mental cognition. Then you have the mental states, mental activity. Here they put as mental formation, whatever that your mundane mind develop as a formation. But they are basically sankhara, everything that your mind can do. Then the last one is, of course, consciousness. And consciousness is like a magician, really can create magic to deceive you and delude you. And all the manifestation is from consciousness. Yeah. So under the note 28, it said, all these are explained and given on page, this Roman figure, how to read? I also don't understand. xxiii. There FF somewhere. Never mind. We move on. Yeah. Okay, here. It's connected to the top of their own accord. Go up. Okay. The state will disappear on their own accord. Okay. Means if you don't give attention or deludedly grasp and cling, then it will go off, disappear or cease or come to pass on their own. But if practitioners fall under the influence of this deviant samadhi state, they may become stuck. They may even face insanity. This is very true. I have come across these people who cultivate this type of one-pointedness and energy field. They told me their horror story. Because one of them was quite an elderly lady. I remember at the Champaka, where I was teaching meditation in Champaka Buddhist lodge, Saturday class. Then suddenly one elderly lady came in and attended. Then I happened to teach on the normal meditation teaching, touching samadhi. And I warned them about this type of deviant samadhi. Then after the class, she came and approached me and talked to me. Then I said, yeah, this is very true. Because she said, Brother, what you say is very true. I experienced it firsthand. He said, that's why after that, for 10 years, she did not meditate anymore. Because she really got attacked by the Mara. At first, she thought it was a dream, no? But when she woke up, because in that dream state, he thought it was a dream, the Mara actually reacted and pulled off her hair. And really, when he woke up, the whole head was full of blood, together with the hair gone. And then they sent her to hospital and all that. So a lot of this type of story. So be careful. So here, if you can avoid all this, then you will not be affected. So I read again. They may even face insanity or demonic possession. Really, the Mara will actually possess you, control you, and tell you a lot of story. Or they may just simply stray from the path. So instead of focusing on cultivation, you get deceived or you deviate. The practitioner may lead others into error as well. This is the most dangerous. This has karmic consequence. In describing people whose practice has taken a wrong turn, this section also serves as a warning against falling under the influence of spiritual charlatans. Why they use charlatan? Charlatan is emoji. English word is it? I think this word is not common in the Buddhist teaching. The common one is cow, and their cows. You know what are cows, isn't it? they have very strong deviant views on, and they have a lot of so-called secret teaching on prohibition, and what to say. That's why they call them the cult. The warning is relevant today as it was when it was spoken. So this one is, I think, when Hsuan was giving the commentary, he actually warned. For each of the 50 states of mind, a vivid description is given of the mental phenomena experienced by the practitioner. Means these 50 Divan Samadhi, they are described in the Surangama Sutra very vividly. So the problem is, if you don't have the understanding, you can actually get into trouble. Like what is described here, a vivid description is given of the mental phenomena. Note the word mental phenomena, means mind make, consciousness, not what you think. Experienced by the practitioner or cultivator. In essence, what is presented is a unique way or method of categorizing and classifying spiritual experience, together with an indication of what causes led to such manifestation or experience. Although the 50 states of mind described are by no means an exhaustive list of all the possible states, the text offers a framework for the classification of all spiritual experiences, both Buddhist and non-Buddhist. Finally, in dialogue with Ananda, the Buddha described the immense amount of merits that is earned by those who teach others about the Surangama Sutra and the Surangama mantra. So if you have the cultivation, the understanding, you can share this and prevent cultivator all the way from deviating or going into the wrong path of cultivation. Then the merits that arise is immense, because it is the direct opposite of misleading people, causing people to go the wrong way. Okay, what's the time now? Oh, okay, we still got half an hour. The meaning of the title, we go to the fourth main title. The Surangama Sutra is an abbreviated title. A longer but still partial title is widespread use is the Sutra on the Surangama mantra that is spoken from above the crown of the great Buddha's head. The full title is the Sutra on the Surangama mantra that is spoken from above the crown of great Buddha's head, and on the hidden basis of the Taskam one's mind-right Bodhisattva practices that leads to their verification of ultimate truth. This full title conflicts two of the titles which the Buddha himself suggests in a brief passage near the end of the sutta. In the Buddhist tradition, a sutta is a discourse that contains the teaching of Sakyamuni Buddha or the teachings of other Buddhas or enlightened beings. The Buddha is a fully enlightened being who has developed perfect wisdom and universal compassion. The particular Buddha whose teachings were spoken for the benefits of beings on this planet and this age, and who lived in northern India during the 6th and 5th century before Christ, was the Prince Siddhartha Gautama, who upon attaining full awakening became Buddha Sakyamuni. He is sometimes referred to as the historical Buddha. It is he who gives the teaching contained in this sutta. Greatly describe the true nature of a Buddha, not his physical body, but his fully awakened mind, which fills the entire universe. This aspect of a Buddha is sometimes symbolically represented as Buddha Vairochana. So this Vairochana Buddha is supposed to be the first Sammasambuddha, who is the great Buddha referred to in the title. The hidden basis of the Bodhisattva practice is the Surangama mantra and the Surangama samadhi. Thus one is a honorific name used to address a Buddha. The word Bodhisattva can be translated as awakened being. Bodhi is wisdom, Sattva is being, so awakened or wise being. Bodhisattvas devote themselves to the awakening of all beings because of their vow, while at the same time they engage in the mind-right practice of perfection that will lead to their own full awakening. When one becomes a Buddha, which is the goal of all the mind-right Bodhisattva practices, one can verify through one's own experience the nature of ultimate truth. Okay, we go to the next one, level of teaching. The Buddha taught at two different levels. He taught the unchanging true Dhamma, which applies to all circumstances at all times, and he taught the provisional Dhamma, which he tailored to the needs of his audience and fitted to the content and circumstances. The Surangama Sutra was spoken in response to the disastrous error of judgment and behavior that Ananda almost made while on his alms round, making plain his need to develop the power of samadhi, as recounted in the sutta's prologue. The Buddha's provisional teachings vary because his audience vary in their aspiration, in their level of accomplishment, and in their practice of meditation, and also in their capacity for understanding. Some of the records of his teaching contain several levels of instruction in the same document, while other records confine themselves to a single type of teaching. All of his teachings are not necessarily appropriate for everyone at all levels. Further, during a career of almost 50 years, that's why at the age of 35, and he passed away 80, so technically it's 45 years, but here they put as 50. As his audience mature in their practice, his teaching progressed gradually from introductory to the advanced. So this one now you understand initially why I reverse the teaching and start with the basic provisional teaching. Then as you all develop better understanding, we go into the higher teaching. And especially now, we move into the Supreme Vehicle teaching. So in some cases, the later teaching substantially critical the earlier ones, replacing provisional teaching with ultimate teaching. It's not really critic in the sense of the word. You see, what happened is, The provisional teachings are the basic, essential teaching for sainthood way enlightenment. That's why it evolved the Four Noble Truths, its three turnings, and all the other essential Dhamma that are needed to free the mundane mind from delusion, from Sakaya Ditti. That way it can break through all the 10 fetters. You develop awakening, enlightenment. But at that level, now that you all have gone through, you will understand. Compare to the Bodhisattva way or the Supreme Vehicle teaching, the provisional teaching are very, very basic, not extensive enough. A lot of the understanding is not there. But to develop basic sainthood way enlightenment until arahantaship, you don't need all those teachings. That's why now you will understand why in the early days when I share the 4 support, I told you all, to develop the sainthood way, you only need to do the first 3 support. You don't need the 4th support, which is trust, to locate the gateway to your nature. So that is basically what is the difference, the big difference. Because after that, when you do the 4th way, the Bodhisattva way, the teaching is very extensive, like the 4 circle formation. It's totally revolutionary. But before you all learn the provisional teaching, if I have gone into this, everybody will run away. Nobody will follow. Because it's seldom taught, this type of teaching. Hardly anybody understands. Even the Mahayana, hardly any real cultivator can understand. But for those who have the parami from the past, of course they can understand. Especially the patriarchs and all those things, or the great Zen teachers or masters. So this type of supreme vehicle teaching is not easy to come by and not easy for people to follow. That's why all this, it has their causes and conditions behind. Okay, we go back to the notes. Now I read, you will understand better. Such critics are a feature of this sutra, as are critics of non-Buddhist teaching that existed in India during and before the Buddha's time. Here, if you apply to the non-Buddhist teaching, then it's true. Means the Buddha actually explained it and make it clear that all those teaching is not what he is trying to teach. In fact, the Surangama Samadhi is nothing to do with concentration, absorption, or one-pointedness, all those things. It's just the pure awareness nature. Buddhist tradition hold that after the Buddha's realization of Parinibbana, the general level of understanding and cultivation of the Buddhist teaching slowly decline, which is very true. The first major sign of that decline occurs roughly 500 years after his Parinibbana. This was the Sikhism that divided Buddhism into Mahayana, or the northern, they call northern Buddhism. No. Here they put as northern Buddhism, but I remember the Nan and Pei, they divide into Pei Chuan, you all call Chuan, and Nan Chuan. So, that one is the third one, different. So Nan Pei is because the northern one is where the 5th patriarch, they all. These are like, they no, they term it as, both also Dachen, they term it as the more educated one, understand? Because the northern part is normally Beijing, the capital city of China. They are more educated, more scholarly and all those things. Then the southerners are...
It's not like that. It's the center may refer to Himalaya, India. Then Beichuan it goes to China. Nanchuan it goes to Myanmar, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia.
Oh, so is that one. But in the Sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta, he called the Sixth Patriarch Huineng. So you are from the south. It's southern China, the uneducated one, barbarian. He used in the sutta there. That's why in China, where the educated one is in the north. So it's nothing to do with your that one that divide Buddhism into one. It's China's reference, because the southern are less educated. They call barbarian and all those things. So that's how all these terms they come about. Then what happened is, like is described in the Theravada traditions sutta, the Dhamma will decline. Every 500 years, it becomes more and more serious. That's why here is they describe the first major sign of the decline that occurred roughly 500 years after his parinibbana was the Sikhism that divided Buddhism into Mahayana, which subsequently spread to China, Korea, Java, Vietnam, and Tibet. And the and the Theravada teaching of the elders, or they call it the Southern Buddhism. This southern form spread to Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia. The Mahayana itself divides further into the various sub-schools. Among them, these 5 schools you must pay attention. Make a note. The first one is emptiness school. So there is a Sanskrit word also, Madhya Makha. I also don't know how to pronounce. Then they have the consciousness school, Yogacara. Then they have the Pure Land teaching. So, you see, they have to break up into all this is because each and every of these school, they got their unique teaching, understand? Very penetrative. Especially the emptiness school and the consciousness only school. Then the Pure Land teaching has their own different set of teaching. Then the fourth one is also very unique. The matrix of the Taskam one, they call it the Tathagata Gaba. Then the final one is to describe the esoteric teaching, which they term it as Vajrayana. So the Surangama Sutra contains teachings that are consonant with all of these schools. See? All of these schools, they pluck certain aspect of the teaching and they love that part of the teaching, they set up the school. So, but like I say, if you combine them all, then you will receive the full understanding of the real teaching. The Surangama Sutra contains teaching that are consonant with all these schools, while placing particular emphasis on the matrix of the Taskam teaching and on the esoteric teaching, both of which were flourishing in India before being introduced into China in the late 7th and 8th century. Another approach given in the traditional commentary to an understanding of the levels of teachings of the Surangama Sutras enumerates and explains 4 successive gateways of inquiry and understanding. First is intellectual inquiry into the meaning of the sutra text, then meditation on the coming into being of phenomena from our own making or distinction, as elaborated by the consciousness school, the consciousness only school. Then the other one is, the third one is a pneumonal approach that directly phantoms the true nature of all phenomena, which is that they are empty of any real essence and have no independent existence, as elaborated by the emptiness school. And number 4 is the realization of the unobstructed relationship of phenomena and phenomena as found in the matrix of the thus come one. So this one is more complete and more extensive, and later elaborated in the Chinese Hsuan school. So you see, the thus come one, the matrix of the thus come one, he combined the whole of the phenomena and pneumonal understanding. So what is the thus come one's teaching is when you complete the full cultivation and perfection, you become the Sammasambuddha, then your nature becomes the oneness nature. And this oneness nature is like the pneumonal, the unconditioned, that is responsible for the creation and the manifestation. And within the pneumonal, there is the phenomenal world, mind-made consciousness. That's why that forms the full teaching of the Buddha. He called it the thus come one. So that part is just for your added understanding. Number 6, okay, reason for the teaching. We go through it. Traditional commentators have identified 6 concerns that are addressed by the Buddha's teaching in the Surangama Sutra. They may be summarized as follows. The first is the importance of balancing learning and meditational practice. Whereas Ananda was considered to have the keenest memory of all the Buddhas, a keenest memory of all the Buddha's disciples. They say he can remember everything, like elephant memory. Every word that the Buddha spoke, he can repeat it. But he made the false assumption that he could rely solely on his memory or intelligence and his special relationship with the Buddha. As a result, he neglected his own cultivation or practice. Consequently, he did not have sufficient samadhi to ward off the spell that the condition cast on him. This one must be referring to the I think the daughter of one of the I forgot the name, Matangi, is it? That was the name, I think, in the early part of the sutta. So this one arises because for many lives in the past, Ananda was attracted to her, I think 500 lives if I'm not wrong, and they were married. That's why it's like love at first sight. But in the sutta it's mentioned that the mother taught the lady, the daughter, a type of mantra. Because Ananda don't have Surangama Samadhi. That's why he still cannot escape the influence. So he almost broke his precept. And the Buddha sent Manjusri to actually help him and brought him back together with that lady. Okay, so the first concern about cultivation is don't be like Ananda. thinking that he has elephant memory with the intellect. The memory is enough. And also he thinks he is the youngest cousin and very close to the Buddha and his attendant. So he believes that is more than sufficient. But because of that, he neglect the cultivation part. That's why I share with you all. The consciousness and the wisdom way must go hand in hand. You cannot go one-sided. You cannot cultivate consciousness too fast, too advanced. Without wisdom to balance it, your progress can go into different direction and give rise to problem. So you take the wisdom way first. It may be more gradual, but once you actually make it and develop the understanding of it, you will progress very fast when you're able to develop the fourth support to locating the gateway. The moment you locate that, you not only will not go wrong because you go through the wisdom way, then it will speed up your consciousness evolution. Because that movement is not the external, what they call the deviant samadhi type of cultivation. That one is nature's cultivation. That one can never go wrong, because no mind is involved. Okay, the second is the danger of charlatans who pose as teacher and whose wrong view are a consequence of their own mental derangement. The sutra condemns self-described spiritual teacher who brag of advanced spiritual accomplishment and who violates the rules of moral behavior. The Buddha warns against such people in 3 places in the text, in part 7 and part 9, 3b, in which he discusses purity, and in part 10, in which he describes the 50 deviant samadhi, or demonic state associated with the 5 aggregates. So this one also one of the concerns. So the third concern is the need for a proper understanding of the difference between one's true mind and one's distinction making conscious. Why are you going to use such English word? This one is actually your mundane mind. It has its own perceived reality, not distinction making. 分别心 but I don't know why they use this word. Discriminatory means it's the mundane mind's perception of reality. Each and every one is different. How you operate and use your mundane mind depends on your views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system. That's why your perceived reality is based on your content of consciousness, based on your accumulated belief system, etc. So, ability to distinguish between the true mind and the mundane mind is very important. Since this understanding is a prerequisite for right cultivation, see? 心为根本, mind as the basis for cultivation, as emphasized by Bodhidhamma. If you cannot understand mind, you cannot understand the teaching. That's why in the early day, I remember, I always have joy when I heard this from my refuge teacher, Master Hsuan. He always in the sharing of the Dhamma, I say, 佛就是心，心就是佛，你无会心就无会佛。That one is very beautiful. So not understanding what the true mind is, and the mundane, dependent originating mind, or the discriminative perception of the mundane mind, is where cultivator of the way cannot progress, because you cannot cultivate apart from the true mind. Like Hui Neng explained to Shen Xiu's students when they come to seek his advice and express their sincerity to learn from him. So he finally reminded them before his parinibbana. His teaching is very simple. The first hallmark of Hui Neng. Whatever teaching that does not come from the true mind is not what he teach. It's not the true teaching. Yeah. So you can teach whatever you like, but if it's not from the true mind's realization, that teaching will never be the right teaching. Yeah. That's why that statement is very powerful. Okay, I will read on. Since this understanding of the true mind and the mundane mind is a prerequisite for right practice, since what people generally consider to be their mind is not their true mind, the earlier portion of the sutra systematically explore wrong presupposition about the mind in order to reveal the nature of the true mind. So this one is, I think by now, should be very clear to you all. Because a lot of people fail to understand what that pure awareness nature is, where they didn't stabilize that, and they fail to have even a glimpse of what that thing is. They are only familiar with the mundane mind, the thinking mind, the dependent originating mind, and that is not your true mind. Where that one is creation, manifestation. Mind make our day. That is your mano, mundane mind, that is involved with the karmic creation and karmic process. 4:30. Okay, we stop here. We mark this page, number 4. We are at page Romanized 28, last paragraph. Okay, we are now off the light so that you can have your 45 minutes of awareness-based meditation. Okay, so remember the 4 support, especially the first 3. Relax, maintain awareness, and stabilize the awareness. Once you are able to develop it, the awareness, then stabilize it, you are home actually. That is the beginning of understanding the true mind. When you can stabilize that pure awareness nature, you will realize your true mind. And that is the prerequisite for progress, for developing the right approach to develop the Surangama Samadhi. So as often explained and emphasized by me, don't try to know, don't try to do anything, because the one that tries to know is always the thought, which is egoic. The one that tries to do is also the thought, which is egoic. And this is how the mundane mind manifests and come through the back door to trick the cultivator. The true cultivator of the way is pure awareness within the silent mind. Realize that, stabilize that, then you will know how these two are interconnected. The pure awareness nature is the unconditioned, the primordial. It was there before the arising of the mano or the thinking mind or the thought process. So if you relax body and mind and maintain awareness within, then there is no thought. Just the awareness away. Finish. That way you can be in that state for long enough. Then everything will slow down. Your sankara activity, fine aggregate, the habitual thought process or movement, they will all slow down, until finally it comes to a stop, or we call it standstill, no more movement. Then you will experience the silent mind, which is your true mind, your pure awareness nature, which is just away. Then from there, whatever movement of thought, it will arise from there. Then you realize the two minds are very close, the mundane mind and the true mind. But from that mundane mind, it will continue to create consciousness and its thought activity. That's why you will get yourself deceived, deluded by the phenomenal world of consciousness that the mundane mind manifests. Then you forgot that you were originally the pure awareness nature before thinking arises. So the true meditation is to realize the pure awareness nature and stabilize it, so that you know the big difference between the two. One is unborn, undying, that is capable of direct seeing, awakening, understanding, developing the silent mind to observe, the silent observation of the reality of what is, give rise to wisdom. That is what direct seeing is all about. That's what awakening is all about. That's why without that true mind, the silent mind, you cannot develop wisdom and progress. The real wisdom comes from the silent mind, pure awareness nature. And there is sati. That's why sati is an awareness before the knowing. The moment you know, that's perception, that is thought. Okay, so now I will set the alarm for 45 minutes. Then you can meditate. You can slowly, mindfully come out of meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind state that you need to develop so that in the midst of life you can be aware. Then the daily mindfulness is very important. Okay, now you open up for second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question you may have, and also Dhamma in daily life sharing.
Hello, Brother Theo.
Yes.
I will do the sharing today.
Good, Poh Cheng. Sadhu. Come.
Amitabha, Brother Theo, Mrs. Theo,
Amitabha. Yes.
I will talk about my Ipoh trip, Brother Theo.
Can?
Yeah. So early this month, August, I went to Ipoh with my husband. It's my first trip to Ipoh, Brother Theo. Yeah, first trip to my husband has been to Ipoh a few times, but he went for work business, not in when he was working, no. Yeah. So anyway, I went with him. It was a very interesting trip because I actually didn't expect the temple is in the cave, but
Yeah. Ipoh got a lot of cave temple. Yeah.
yeah. So we wanted to go to one of the temple, but apparently the temple has been closed since last year. The
Oh,
Cake
okay.
Lok temple, Cake Lok
Mm.
Sea or something like that. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, but we still have other two. Actually, we wanted to go three temples, and then since the temple is closed, we went to the other two temple. So the first temple we went is the Pera Cave temple. But the
Mm.
temple was quite big, quite big in the sense the cave is
Mm.
very big, and very nice in the sense that they have painting on the cave itself, the cave
Yeah.
wall. So we pay our respect, and after that, the interesting part is we were told that you have like 450 steps to walk up the
Oh.
back of the cave up to the mountain, so-called
Mm-hmm.
Stone Mountain,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that go to the peak and you can see the city of Ipoh or something like that.
Yeah.
We climbed up that. We did that. So it was quite steep in a sense. The steps are very narrow and very small. The path is very small.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like at some point you have to have like one person can go at any one time. And
Yeah.
the
Singapore.
place is interesting because somehow other besides Chinese going there, there are other races that go there. And I
Oh,
was
okay.
surprised to see Malay also in the
Okay.
I didn't see what they do in the temple, but they were climbing up the 450 steps to the top
Oh, okay.
to view the city view lah.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
surprising part was when we reached to the top, it
Mm.
was what you call that, the Hsuan Pusat,
Oh,
the
sadhu,
king was
yeah.
there. It was there. We didn't expect it was there, and then it kind of surprised me to see that it was there, and everybody go up there, of other races also go there. But
Mm.
for me and my husband, it's more like it's also my first time there, my husband first
Oh,
time there,
okay.
and we also wanted to visit Hussein Pusa and San,
Oh, okay.
next month. So it's like
Oh,
meant to be that he
sadhu,
come to this
yeah.
place to pay respect first to this Hussein Pusa at this Perak
Mm.
Cave temple, prior to going to the Amesan, with me next month. It
Sadhu,
was like
sadhu.
meant to be, that
Yeah.
like that it just unfold very nicely,
Yeah.
and it's an introduction to him. I mean, of course, my husband doesn't know all these things, the Bodhisattva, all that thing. Yeah, so I just tell him that it's very coincident that he get
Mm.
to meet and pay respect to this Pusen Pusat first in Malaysia,
Sadhu.
in Ipoh.
Yeah.
So I was very joyful, and in a sense that uh, it was unexpected, and
Mm.
it was how to say, a gift, in a way, because we
Yeah.
were
It's like
supposed to,
meant to be, yeah.
yeah, we were supposed to see the city of Ipoh, but instead we get to pay respect to Jen Pusa, and
Yeah.
up there, of all the
Yeah.
Bodhisattva, is the Jen Pusa Bodhisattva, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So it was very nicely unfolded, very nicely,
Sadhu.
and and we also like very surprised that other races also go up there, especially Malays, so I didn't expect. And they were very nice to us, telling us, oh, yeah, only wanted the way. They were there much earlier than us, brother. They're already coming down
Oh.
and we are going up, so they were very
Yeah.
nice talking to us as well. So when
Yeah.
I think about it, this place is a Chinese temple, yet they also
Yeah.
wanted to come. So I felt very joyful that they
Mm.
interested to take a look as well, and
Mm.
enjoy the, the cave temple. Okay, so that
Mm.
was the temple that we went on the second day. So after
Mm.
that, the thing is that uh, after all the walking, I know in Ipoh there's a lot of walking for us, because we went there and then we roam around the city to uh, visit temples plus all the good places to eat,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
where
yeah.
attraction is as well, lots of good
Mm.
food. So a lot of walking, and it's very hot. And my husband suggested that we go for a food reflexology, radio.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just to relax yourself.
So it is also uh, unexpected in the sense that near the hotel that we stay, there's so many food reflexology just outside, just
Yeah, yeah,
next
yeah.
building.
Nowadays quite common. Yeah.
Huh? Not so common
Yeah.
in PJ, PJ is
Yeah.
like not so many, and it's kind of far away. But for at least for this place, it's like I can easily find 5 to 6.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Along that road.
Yes, a
Yeah.
lot. In everywhere left and right of the building. So for us, so my husband said, let's go and try it out,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
rather well, and then we kind of like find one that is nearest to our hotel,
Mm, mm,
and
mm.
we went there for 1 hour 60 minutes of food
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
reflexology. So what I want to say is this food reflexology, how I developed the the sati and the true mind, after
Oh,
that, right?
sadhu. Very good.
Yes, yes. So this is the part that I want to share, to
Mm,
kind of give
mm,
you
mm.
the quick preview of it, why I want to talk about this.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So I actually wanted to know is like what type of foot reflexology or massage they are doing, from that
Mm, mm.
receptionist. So she said, oh, this is a Chinese foot reflexology. It's not like the Thai. Usually in the past, and by the way, but this is the first time I had my first foot reflexology in Malaysia.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Malaysian, right?
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
never
yeah.
any foot reflexology before. But I did tell Sister Sui that my friend recommended one in SS2 that is pretty good,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
SS2.
SS2 got a lot. Yeah.
So next time, also a Chinese food reflexology. So I thought
Mm,
next time when I visit PJ again, I will go and try this food reflexology that my friend went. I have not been there also, but I say,
mm,
okay.
mm.
Anyway, I do not know. I told Sister Sui, you can check it out, see how good it is, Yeah, okay, so this back to this food reflexology in Ipoh. So we had a 1 hour. So we had two masseur that actually do the food reflexology. It's a Chinese one,
Yeah.
food reflexology, not Thai massage, not Thai food massage.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
she do it, and of course in the beginning, she will kind of like tell you, whether it's too hard or too soft. The massage, that kind of thing.
Mm,
So
mm,
for me, okay, I don't want it to be like very tough, very hard that you feel the
mm, mm,
pain, and unbearable sensation,
mm,
the
mm,
kind of thing.
mm,
So she will ask you, so pretty good. So she did all the massage on the foot, right? So when
mm,
it happened, right, the massage, the massage okay,
mm.
maybe I don't say massage, it's actually massaging on the acupoint,
Yeah,
acupoint,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Correct.
when she do that, right, actually I can feel all the sensation
Mm,
of
mm,
the toes, the sole of the feet. I can even hear the sound of it, brother. You
mm, 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 mm.
even hear the sound of it, what sound it's making. And then when that happened, right, when certain part of the toes, right, like the big toe that she do on the first she will do on the left feet and then on the right feet.
Mm,
So when
mm.
she do on the right feet, right, I can actually send something on my brain, my eye there, that is
Oh, sadhu.
showing the sensation. It's like the
Yeah,
signal
yeah.
went
It's
all the way
connected.
to my head,
Connected there.
my head, yeah, connected to my head, like
Yeah, yeah.
the Chinese say the meridian,
Yeah, yeah,
path
yeah. Yeah.
goes from one part of your body to the opposite part of your body, like the
Mm,
left foot to the right part of the body, the brain,
mm,
the right one on the left side, something like that.
mm,
I'm not
mm,
into this scientific thing about the meridian, but something like this. So I can
mm,
sense all these things, throughout the 60 minutes that she was doing, on the
mm. Sadhu.
left and right feet. So when all this done right, of course, the sensation, some is like very ticklish, some is how do I say, that send the signal all the way to the head, to the
Mm.
part of the head, the back of my eye, even though I can feel
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
sensation vibrating there, that. So once all this done, we make the payment, make the payment to the cashier there. And so I wear the shoe, and then after that I start to walk. As I start to walk, but before that, because the massage I thought was very good, we ought to. I do not know whether we have to give tips or not, but I told my husband, I think the massage is very good, so give them some tips, to encourage them. They are very good.
Yeah.
To tell them they're very good. So after that, I wear my shoes. Then, and I start walking, right, my whole how to say my whole awareness, appear, like
Sadhu.
as I walk, I realize there is no weight at all, no weight at all. And then after that, the walking is effortless, that as if I can only feel the wind, but nothing else, right?
Oh,
So,
Sadhu.
so after that, the funny thing about it is, you see, Brother always tell us the true mind and your Monday mind is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
close.
yeah.
So I can see the thought appear, the thought appear, they say,
Oh, Sadhu.
the thought appear, is that, no feet, is that no feet, because I was telling you, it feels very light and things like that, right? Then the thought appear, pop up, that, no feet, you got no feet, lah. I don't know exactly the word, it just said no feet, yeah. It's just aware and finish, go away,
Yeah,
pop
yeah,
away.
yeah.
Then after that, as I walk again, then it appear another thought pop up again. I said, you got no body, no body. Then I just aware and finish, no nothing else. Then I continue.
Good.
So I can only feel the wind, and the
Yeah,
flow
yeah,
of the
yeah.
movement, flow of the movement. As I walk back, I don't even feel the walking at all, right?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah.
like moving like a wind blowing, like the wind
Sadhu.
moving, like the wind moving, nothing else, effortless movement of the flow, that's it, yeah. That, but the interesting thing is also, as I walk back to the hotel, right, because it's just a block away, few
Yeah,
doors
yeah.
away,
Nearby.
nearby. So I have to I can do things, brother. Although I in my through my awareness of it, but I can do things like I know when to take out my door key, to tap on the lift, so
Yeah,
that it
yeah, yeah,
opens.
yeah.
Or I mean, the
Means
lift
you
goes
are
up.
fully aware. Fully
Yes, fully
aware.
aware
Yeah.
that I can do this, I can do that,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so every step of the thing I'm doing, I'm aware of it and I can do it. It's like specific, how you call that? Specific phenomena awareness of
Awareness, yes.
your action. So it's just like that, right? And there is no thinking, no thought. Although you know
Yeah.
what you have to do, there
Sadhu,
is no
yeah.
thinking. Okay, so this is what happened during the
Very
process of
good.
it.
Sadhu.
One part to another part. Yes, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So then come
Because
to
when you do the massage, you are very naturally relaxed. Then you let them just do whatever. Then that mindfulness build up. Then if they are quite good in the way they develop the foot massage uh, technique to actually help you to relax and develop all the acute point, you will develop that flow of awareness, which is a very different phenomenon. But you are experiencing it as something new, like you say, you haven't been to that type of shop with that type of massage. That is like meant to be with your faith as you walk through the temple every day. Then you have already trained your inner, what I should say, awareness nature. You have stabilized it for quite a while already. So all this manifestation can arise. That's why you will see the big difference as compared to normal people. Because most people, they are not really aware. Of course, they feel the massage help them to relax, and sometimes they like that type of. Some they like the stronger acute point type of experience, so they ask them to do it with more like pressure. But some who are new, they may not like it. Then they feel that it's very painful or not tolerable, means their threshold for this style of massage is not there. But sometimes it's the massager who did it may not be good and experienced enough. So all these are the combination of factors that are possible that can manifest the outcome. So for your case, like you mentioned, meant to be your husband and you, then you all have a lot of joy, a lot of peace, because the joy came from the Puja and Puja that you all saw when you reached the top and all those things. So these are the what they call possibility for cultivator to experience all this. So for what you have gone through and based on your description, it is something very beautiful and also meaningful. That's why I rejoice. Sadhu to you. Are you continuing? Just now you were trying to share some more.
Yes. Sadhu Vaidya for the detailed description of what is going on. Yes. So we went back to the hotel, right? So as we walked back to the hotel, so I'm like Brother Teo always used to say, very mindful of every action and every movement, and also
that daily mindfulness is very important.
I can do. I'm aware of what I'm doing, and I know what I'm doing. It's like not like blur that kind. Although
by now you should have developed that stability, and a lot of these things will happen.
Yes. So as we reached back to our room, right, Raju? So my husband was saying that he need to rest for a while before dinner lah. Then I said okay lah. Then we need to rest. So I said I lie on the bed lah.
Wow, sadhu.
So I continue to relax. Then I continue to relax. The next thing happened to me is, wow, as I just lie on the bed, immediately I lie on the bed, my heart activated and then the thrust moved, Brother.
Sadhu, very good.
Yes, move on. So the you can see not see lah. Feel the sensation moving down to your feet. Moving down to your feet. The thing about it is this, Brother. As I was doing the massage, as I was being massaged, the acupoint on the toe, that toe on the left and the right. It gives the strongest sensation, Brother. During the point there, so I can hear the sound and I can feel the sensation during that massage. So when I come back to the room and rest on the bed, immediately I lie on the bed, the heart activated and the thrust moved down to my feet. And then the pulsation on that toe itself, the left toe. The left toe, it doesn't go anywhere except the toe, right?
It's meant to be. They need to activate the area. That's why thrust will allow that movement to take place. Then what happened?
Then when the pulsation is very strong, right? By itself, not do anything. I just lie on the bed and relax. My brother just relax, and then this thing happened. And then after that, it moved to the left toe, right toe, left and right, and then both of them pulsating together, and nothing else, no other places except these two toes, it's just pulsating, doing nothing, activating that point, So after that, of course, I'm now looking at it, why it happened there, why it happened there. The thing is when it happened during the massage, right, the acupoint, right, that is when most sensation happen. So I do not know much about this lah. Maybe Brother Teo can explain this to me. So this is the way I think lah, Brother Teo, because these two area may have some healing problems, so it goes there to heal,
Sadhu.
Yes. So that is like a healing process for me, to clear away whatever blockage or meridian blockage that I have on these two areas alone, that is what I believe.
So when they do your toe, is it more painful than the other part?
Yes, it has the most sensation.
Once is more painful means that part that is linked to whatever organ or what means they got a problem. Problem means they used to say if certain part they do the acute point pressure massage, if you feel painful means they know that one linked to which organ and which part of your body. So they will tell you this organ is not so healthy and all those things. So for this toe one, I think is not so much of help. It's more for healing the meridian that needs to be healed, because you feel the sensitivity and all those things. Then when you feel, it is like activated. Because I remember when in Singapore last time I told you the one that got special psychic ability, Tak Yi Gong Lang, they call it. It's like they are born with this special ability. So he can channel his energy. So I told him I had a fall in the early days. I think when I was quite young. I think I stepped on a banana skin. Then I flipped over and landed on the buttock actually. And it was very painful actually. Then it continued to affect me as I grow up. But when I was very young, I know it was very painful. The fall was coming. And what happened was, it was so painful that it left behind some, I don't know what to call it. It left behind some like damage. I should better call it damage. Means certain part of my backbone there, sacral and further up, the whole thing, like later on I was told, almost smashed out. By the time I was very young. So it was very painful for many hours. But I, that time, don't know how to meditate, nothing. But I just, like a child, relax and endure through. Then as I grew up, actually it was okay. Until I was of the age of 30 or 32 like that. Then I felt at the back there. So I off and on like I got sleep disc problem. So suddenly sharp pain and all those things. So I relaxed and I developed the meditation after that, because 86 onward after Kuan Yin's message came, 86, 87, 88, 89. That 3 years actually. What happened was, every time I meditate, relax, silent, I felt there is something there. Then I allow the thing to be. Then that pure energy, like trying to clear, But to use the pure energy to clear it is going to take a long time. But it must be very severely damaged during that time, and it has been there for so many years. Then I knew of somebody in Singapore who also happened to have affinity with me. He was the one that introduced me to my last guide, the one in New Zealand. He's an Indonesian, but he stayed in New Zealand very long. Then he talked about this special people in China. So he proposed we make a visit. So we went. Then very funny, when we all went in, the group of 5 or 6 of us, I remember, and he saw me, he looked at me, he sensed something. Then after that, he talked to me. He said, do you have something that you need me to help you to heal or check? Hey, I said, funny, normally I don't have anything. Then I remember the back. I said, yeah, I fell when I was young, and my back seems to have problem. Then he smiled. Then he said, okay, you sit down. So I sat on a chair. Then he said, your t-shirt, my t-shirt that I wear was covering my back. So he said, you fold your t-shirt out. Then he used his hand, which was 2 feet away, not 2 inches, 2 feet away. He radiated that chi energy. Oh, I felt it. It was like warm. Then suddenly, he did it for 5 to 10 minutes. Then that thing like clear. After that, I come back. I got no more problem. But that time, when I met him, I haven't really developed the fourth support. I haven't located the gateway at that time. But I cleared. After that, I got no more problem with that so-called slip disc thing that off and on come back. After that, I completely healed. Then what I'm trying to explain to you is this foot, the left and right and all those things, the meditative posture that you went in, the fourth support, that is the one that can actually on its own. That's why I say the nature will know where to go and where to activate, and because you already located the gateway, the pure energy, the yin and yang, you will go in and heal. That's why I remember 1989. After I developed the understanding, then later on I met my last guide. Then I located the gateway. Then within 9 months later, my mandibule collapsed. But the gateway, I knew at that time. Even the first day I met him, when I went up to Genting with my wife, then all those things happened which I described before. Then he asked me to sit down. Of course, he asked me, do you trust me? I said, yes, 100%. Okay, he said, sit down. Then his hand was about 2 inches from my left side of the heart, 2 inches away from my body. Then he also sent in a very unique, very fine, pure energy. Then the moment the pure energy activated my gateway, my nature knew. And straight away, because I really know how to relax, maintain awareness, and I was mindful throughout the day, almost 24 hours. The first 3 I already did. Then the last one, when it happened, I realized I didn't do anything, but the process just take place by itself. That's why I came to understand what trust is. I mean, trust that nature to do. No interference from the thought, nothing. Complete trust. Wow, that was the most beautiful. Then my yin and yang energy from my whatever physical that I have cultivated, even through daily mindfulness or what. Well, early on I couldn't locate this gateway. Then there was no outlet. But the moment this gateway is located, all this external yin yang energy, they will flow through it and melt inside it, and become pure energy. Then that pure energy moves by itself, activate all the things that need to be activated. That's why that day I was like a perfect human being. Because I was completely so still, like no more vibration, nothing. Like a car perfectly tuned until no sound, completely no sound. Very, very still. Then after that, I technically don't need my last guy already. I know what this thing is. Then I say it was beautiful. The mind like completely still until no thought. Completely no thought at all. And after that, for many days, I was in that state. Then that meditation become very different. I no longer do the usual anapanasati or those things. I just relax, maintain awareness, and stay at the heart area. Means I did the fourth support. That's why later on I came to understand all this cultivation and movement. Then when the time is right, I taught you all the fourth support for awareness-based meditation. Because after that, I knew how to develop it. No need the traditional method and technique. You just relax, maintain awareness, stabilize the awareness. Means the first three support. Then later on, when the time comes, you just stay at the heart area. When you have stabilized the pure awareness nature, stay at the heart area. Then it will locate by itself. Then when it locates the gateway, which you, Po Cheng, and a few kilometers has developed it, even Alicia they all, then all this will happen. For your case, you describe it different way, but it's the same message. You say like a tunnel open up and all those things, then the thing flow. Then for Alicia, it's the same too, and there are other kilometers who has developed it. But all this is meant to let you understand what is going on. That's why for your this experience which you have gone through is very good. And it's supposed to do that movement. It has a combination of healing plus accelerating your cultivation. Then later on, it will still continue to move. That's why I say that movement inside, it can go to different area that needs the pure energy to help it to activate and open up those areas. And this is the real opening of the internal nadis and chakra that will transform your what they call spiritual, I should say, consciousness transformation and spiritual vibration. And that one will continue to develop until your whole of your vibration within your spiritual nature become like very fine, very, very fine. Until finally your mundane mind cannot stay there, because your mundane mind will become too gross for it. When the mundane mind is too gross, it cannot stay, then it will start to collapse. But the collapse process also takes a while, I remember. It takes a total of almost 9 months for it to completely drop off. It started off with the brain. I remember the brain. The brain become like so different now. Transformed and activated until so different now. Then there was an energy on the top here. Then this one is like something inside there flowing. Then as it flow, it like something tighten. Then like it make your brain cannot think like normal anymore. That's why I say it will show it to you. You want to suffer, you go and think. Then it's like you cannot do that anymore. Where your sensitivity and understanding is so strong that you know these are sankhara anicca, sankhara dukkha. That's why that fine suffering, even the moment of perception, the moment of consciousness, is all suffering. That fine suffering, very fine. That suffering doesn't mean that it make you unhappy or no, none of all those things. It's that very fine. You know, no point on. Think also like that, don't think also. But all these are not reality. Then this type of suffering is for you to understand what the Buddha meant by sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkham. Effect all sankhara. No matter what you do, that movement brings about suffering. Then the last one is empty nature existence. Sabbe dhamma anatta, anateto, or anatta. All this will manifest. And you will develop the understanding on your own. Then this transformation process, I remember, finally it came until the front here. Then one day, finally, the whole thing just dropped off. Like a layer of consciousness, drop off. Ajahn Buddhadasa call it like a wheel of ignorance drop off. Something drop off. Really drop off. And that whole of that layer of consciousness that drop off, after that I feel like I got no mind. Completely light and clear inside there, nothing, no movement at all. Even I try to understand, I find nothing inside there. But then through my own wisdom and understanding, I know, how can I don't have mind? If I don't have mind yet, my five aggregate is there. I can perceive, I can see, but now the difference is that layer of consciousness no more, collapse. Just the pure nature. Then, if I don't have the aggregate, then how can I perceive things, hear things, smell things, the senses all working? Then I came to know later on, this aggregate has become pure aggregate, non-grasping. That's why it's completely different. Then I realized it cannot hold on to anything. Even memory, try to remember something, cannot. I have to let it be. Whatever, if it's in the memory, if there is condition, that's why sometimes I have to ask you, why did I come to here? You tell me, then I can relate. Then I will recall already. So it's no more holding, no more trying to remember. It's all like automatic, all very natural. It's like in the computer, you all call it RAM, random access memory. When you need it, only you access it. When you don't need it, you don't have to access. It's there. That's why the brain, which is the memory, which is responsible for the views, opinion, accumulation, everything, you will see very clearly that the organ is the discriminatory organ, because that one is based on knowledge, based on all the views, opinion, conditioning, belief system that one accumulate while going through life before you develop the enlightenment, wisdom, or understanding of life and reality. So all this, it will manifest. That's why this way of pure awareness-based meditation is very different. So sadhu to you, Poh Cheng. Thanks for the condition, for the sharing. So we have to end already. You can sum up, Poh Cheng.
Sadhu, Mahasadhu Bhatyo for the sharing of this pure awareness based meditation. Because from what I have learned and all of us have learned, it really helps us to understand.
You will develop the further understanding. Well, these are the causes and conditions that manifest. Then my nature can share. Then all this can be recorded. And in the future, when people progress, then they will go through. Then they will know. They will understand better. And this will evolve, continue to evolve. And more understanding will unfold. Very good.
Yes.
Sadhu.
Thank you, Sadhu Bhatyo, for your generous teaching and sharing, so that we learn more, and we are guided on the right path.
Okay, so let us rejoice one more time. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we will do the sharing of merits. Akasata cha pumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva tirang rakantu loka sasana ittavata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang ninyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang ninyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang ninyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo devo satukalena sasa sampati hetu cha Vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo sattang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kunyam Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu.